Let's do square number 18. This one is really simple. This is the design that we're going to be working on. And I'm starting with the brown number 839. And I'm going to use a chain stitch to go all the way around that circle. I find that chain stitch adds a really nice texture. As always, you can add your own preferred stitch if you like. I find that this is really quick and it gives a very nice effect. But if you just keep watching along, because I'm going to show you when we get to the little stems that we can actually do them along the way, so you don't have to do the whole circle first and then separate and go into the stems. So as you can see, I'm getting to one of the stems here, and instead of continuing to do the chain stitch all the way around, actually I've decided to do one more chain stitch there on that round circle. But then from this point I'm just going to bring my needle out and I'm going to start a chain stitch going up that little stem, because I figured I've already got the brown thread. I'm already here at this point, so I'm just going to do 3 chain stitches along that stem, and then I'm also going to add, when I get to the top, I'm also going to add a satin stitch along the base of that flower. So there's just 3 little stitches that I'm going to put under there, and then I'm going to show you how to get back down so that we can continue the chain stitch around that large circle. What you're going to do is you're going to flip your hoop over, and then we're just going to wind the thread underneath a couple of stitches until we get down to where we want to be, stab our needle in, and then come out the other side and then continue with the chain stitch. And if you hang on with me for a little while longer again, we're also going to do one of the little skinny stems. It just looks like a little stick. So we're going to continue the chain stitch there. And then as you can see, there's that little thin stem with the little red bauble at the end. So from this point, I'm just going to bring my needle out and I'm going to add a few back stitches. I think I can fit 4 or 5 on here. 5. And then we're going to do the same thing as before by flipping the hoop over, winding that thread behind a couple of the stitches just to make our way back down to that center circle, and then we can restart and keep going with the chain stitch. Next we're going to do the leaves. I love the way these turned out. I wasn't planning on actually doing them this way. I call this the loose satin stitch because the stitches aren't really close together, but it does work like a satin stitch. All I'm doing is I'm just laying down a few stitches. It adds a lovely texture, and the colour underneath that's printed on the fabric, it fills in the gaps. So we'll do that on both sides, and you're going to leave that blue space in the middle blank because we're going to fill that later on. Now if you wanted to do like a solid satin stitch, by all means, just it will take you a little bit longer and use up a little bit more thread, that's all. So we'll finish that one, and then we're going to do a stem stitch right in the middle there. Now finishing that one off, I just come straight out to the other side and do the one that's near it. Using the same colour and the same stitch actually, we're going to outline the flower petals. You just need to keep your stitches, your stem stitches, quite small when you go around the curves. Now once you finish that, I'd like to add a couple of little straight stitches in the center of those petals. You can do them in a different color if you like. I just put mine there because I still had the blue on there. Nice and easy. Next, still on the same flower, we're going to fill that orange space in the middle, and I chose a satin stitch, and as always I separate the shape in half by placing a single stitch down the middle first. Then I fill one half of the shape, and then I go and fill the other half of the shape. Then I'm also going to use the satin stitch to fill those little red circles around the flowers. And again, just one stitch down the center, two on either side. Now for the center flower, everything gets stitched in the same way as how we did the other elements, except that the inside orange circle, I've decided to do mine with some French knots. So I'm just going to add a perimeter of French knots. If you wanted to, you could fill the whole shape there with French knots with a big cluster. I just did mine around the edges, and I placed one single French knot in the center. I hope you enjoyed this video.